Welcome back to MLG. I'm Artosis, and with me is Kaldor.
Hey.
Our special guest. You know what was happening was basically we have two Europeans this deep in the tournament. We have to have a European help cast that.
Glad to cast those two. That's going to be really, really exciting, especially with Stephano against Sase, and this is going to be so good. Sase is just tearing through the bracket today.
Oh my God, is he ever? Let me read some of the people that he's killed just in the championship bracket. Of course, he got into pool play, which is amazing enough on its own. And then in the actual bracket, he has taken out Violet 2-0, Rain 2-1, Grubby 2-1, Leenock 2-0. Pult 2-1, and the second game after he lost the first one was a cannon rush against Terran. Don't ask me how that happened. And now he's up against Stephano.
And what impresses me the most is that he was actually able to 2-0 not only Violet, but also Leenock. So currently against Zerg, he's playing pretty strong.
That's normally his weak point, too.
I talked to him earlier, and he told me that Zerg versus Protoss was one of the matchups where he really struggled quite a lot. And he said it's all thanks to David Kim, because after Zerg was buffed, you meet only Zergs on ladder. So now he has a lot of practice. And Sase is one of those players who's really famous for grinding out games on a ladder. He does not really practice that much in custom games, but he will practice tons of matches on ladder every single day. When he was back in Europe, him and Cass, those two, they had like thousands of games every season, and everyone was like, how is that possible?
Well, I tell you, man, it's paying off because they're two of the top players in the world at this point. Apollo, DJ Wheat, what do you guys think about this upcoming matchup, Stephano against Sase?
I mean, Stephano is one of these guys. We've seen his success. He's had his consistency, and we know how he plays. But you know what I love about Sase is that you never know how he is going to play, and that is why he is one of my absolute favorite players to watch, to follow.
You stole my point, man. You stole it. Now I'm speechless. But Stephano, I think, if he plays against any straight-up Protoss player, Stephano can win because it's his best matchup in the world. If he plays against somebody with great fundamentals but can do gimmicky stuff, Warp Prism Sentries, anything that makes him a little bit more unpredictable, I think it's just where Stephano's weaknesses may fall.
Yeah, guys, I mean, what do you guys think about that?
You know, I think Stephano is the favorite here, but Sase's on such a tear. He's so warmed up. He's been winning games all morning. So I could absolutely see this going either way. Your prediction, Kaldor?
Usually I would say that in a Zerg versus Protoss, Stephano is going to take it. But right now, how Sase is playing, how he played against Violet, how he played against Leenock, I would actually say that he's on a pretty good roll here. And I would say Sase is able to take it.
All right. Well, we will see. I'm going to go ahead and start the game. Guys, why don't you make some noise? This is a huge match to have these two so deep.
Stephano against Sase, coming here, up here at MLG, and the first map is going to be Cloud Kingdom.
Cloud Kingdom. A fun map. We've seen a lot of games on it this weekend.
And I'm really excited to see what exactly Sase is going to do here. For Stephano, of course, he will just try to get his expansion up early, try to have a quick look at what exactly Sase is doing, and the increased overload speed just helps so much with that. You get into position at your opponent's natural quite easily and have a good look at what exactly he's going to do. We've seen a couple of early gateways just recently, but are you really a fan of that opening?
Well, I'll actually talk about that in just a moment. Let me introduce these players, though. First, up here in the top right with the standard GL HF, it is Stephano.
And to the bottom left, in the blue, we have his opponent, the Quantic player. This is Sase.
All right, so you know, the quick pylon opening in the main, Sase hates it when he gets 6 pooled. He hates 7 pools and 8 pools too, in fact. You know, I'm all right with it, you know, it's not so bad. You just, you know, you lose the foraging cannon, play a weird game, but whatever. No, I hate it too. But you probably do that on the ladder, don't you, Kaldor?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I love that. Greedy Protoss players, and you start with an early pool. Yum, yum.
Well, Sase does not put up with that. And as we saw yesterday in some of his games, I mean, he can hold it if you send those Zerglings across. It's really, really impressive. He has the timings perfect with this build.
Some of those players are just amazing, especially defending against the early Zerglings that might be able to sneak into your base. One of the GSTL games that we just recently saw where Oz was playing comes to mind, where he was able to defend against 6 Zerglings with losing 1 probe. So if you have really good micro and union control, then you can definitely hold it. But it's already interesting to see how Sase is going to play this. We have the Forge now at the bottom, and at the same time for Stephano, just a safe opening, not going for any hatch first shenanigans, not playing too greedy, pool without gas, and then straight into that expansion.
Yeah, and you know, yesterday we saw a Zerg player, I want to say, was it DRG or something, sent 6 Lings right across the map, on this map in particular. When he saw this, he's like, whoa, these timings are off, made 6 Lings, sent them, got through right before the cannon finished, but it was blocking the ramp, so he started targeting the Nexus. Sase didn't even pull probes. He got it down to orange, and then Sase had a Zealot out and 4 probes and just killed him off. It was fantastic, and I love to see a player come in with a completely mapped out personal style like that.
Right now we have the gas going down, the first one for Sase, and one of the things that actually Sase and Naniwa both really like to do is getting double gas early on in the game and then just use 2 of the probes for each of them, because you get like 80% of the gas if you just use 2 probes. You have to sacrifice a few more minerals, but the income that you get in gas is just phenomenal.
That's right, and in fact, we saw something crazy yesterday from Sase as well. There were so many cool things that we saw from him, but one was he made 4 gases and had 2 probes on each. So this guy maps out his gas more than anyone. If he ever can't be a pro gamer anymore, man, like Exxon is going to pick him up, or maybe Shell, I don't know.
Well, right now we have exactly that. We have him with 2 probes in every single one of his simulators. And on the other hand, Stephano going straight for that 3rd base. And we've seen a lot of crazy games in the past between Protoss and Zerg, where Protoss just tries to get a 3rd themselves. And Stephano is one of these players who will always try to turn into really this aggressive monster as soon as he sees the 3rd base. And what Sase did on, well, Metropolis against Lenok, he used the Immortal and Sentry push. And that's also a strategy that you can use on this map, which is really strong on Cloud Kingdom.
Well, we saw from Sase before on this map, yeah, the quick robo build, which he's actually doing once again, and into, you know, he can go into a quick 3rd with this. Now, if he controls it correctly, gets enough sentries out, gets some immortals out, Stephano could be in trouble if he overcommits to roaches. So we're going to want to see exactly how many roaches he makes. He might make a few to start poking and see if Sase is weak in that way, but then you probably should switch over to mutas. But Stephano likes to go infestors quite often as well.
Infestors are also not too bad against the strategy. The key is that you have to kill those sentries. If there are sentries and they have enough energy for the force fields, you will not be able to just close the distance and take down those immortals, and that's the really beefy backbone of this Protoss army. So as soon as the sentries are down, all those gas units are gone, you can close the distance, can attack all of them immortals, but that's going to be the huge problem. Either you go for the mutalistic style that you just mentioned, or you just try to use the infestors and just fungal the probes, the sentries all over again. And Stephano will need them. Right now we have the first immortal building for Sase. He did exactly what you said, Artosis. He takes 4 gas with 2 probes each, so a lot of gas mining for him going on right now.
Yeah, we'll probably see him throw down a couple gates pretty soon here, and I do think this is going to be an expansion. In the meantime, Stephano almost has his Roach Warren done. He is getting that layer as well, so, I mean, this couldn't be more standard from Stephano's point of view. He's going to want to scout in and see exactly what's going on, and, you know, I'm sure he's done some research to see that what Sase does. And in fact, if he watched Sase's previous games, like against DRG, he'd know that this is exactly what he's doing. He's added the 2 gateways, he's added the Nexus. This is something that he does a lot, and he knows exactly how to do it.
Stephano's playing pretty cautious here as well. He's getting some roaches, he has a few lings out already. We don't see him with this crazy drone count just yet. Sase is able to have 50 probes against 56 drones. So right now it's just Stephano trying to get this economy going. He's getting additional extractors. His creep spread is quite decent at the 8-minute mark, and we immediately have Stephano with another base, a 4th, while he starts to turn on the heat and tries to take down this 3rd.
Oh, trapping a couple Zerglings. Not sure if those force fields are worth if he had trapped a few more, perhaps. And also getting that hallucination oh so quickly. So he needs to get that scouting going as soon as possible. And already Stephano's getting ready with an infestation pit. So here we go, trying to surround, trying to target down any sentries he possibly can. And will he actually get this one? No, he won't. Beautiful defense by Stephano. by Sase.
Very, very well done. Nice force fields here. Targets down all those lings and gets the sentries away. Very key here, not losing those gas units. And they are just so expensive. Right now we have more Immortals and sentries building. He has 3 Immortals in total. And this gives him the opportunity to be a bit more aggressive, to just push out as soon as he increases his sentry count. We already have 7, and of course he needs a few Stalkers and Zealots as well, as Stephano is now getting the 4th base, we pointed out, and a macro hatch. So he's just fallen better on this macro mode. But a Protoss on 3 bases, I mean, how do you feel as a Protoss player being on 2 bases and suddenly you take your 3rd and you have all these opportunities and possibilities?
Yeah, you can do anything off a 3 base with Protoss, really. Now, we do see the robotic support bay going down, so we will be having Colossus coming into the fray, which is a great choice. We're actually watching 2 players basically play strategically perfectly. You know, Stephano, he's chosen the Infest route. Okay, taking that 4th base. As Sase's 3rd comes up, that's a point where Sase really can't attack yet. Both of them powering up to the correct tech, getting a lot of upgrades, knowing that in the future fight they're going to need all of this. So this game is completely even. No one is in the lead.
Very important right now is that Sase is getting a 2nd Robo.
Yeah.
And with the 2nd Robo, he will be able to get those Colossi so fast. He already has 4 Immortals at this point, and we have him with still 7 Sentries. That's basically all there is. Nice probe count as well, 70 to 80. And Stephano, well, he has to be careful here. Usually what you do as a Zerg is you get a ton of drones and then start to make spine crows, but Stephano is turning up the heat. He's taking to Hive, he's going for the Spire. But 40 Zerglings just popped, and this is going to be a lot of aggression.
Well,
but, I don't know.
I don't know that he can
sentries.
do anything. Yeah, there's a lot of sentries. In fact, Sase's play here is just immaculate. With those 2 Robos, he's going to be able to get out 3 Immortals very quickly. Oh,
and he's going in immediately. The Infestors lead the charge with those Infestor Terrans. And the Zerglings trying to close the distance, but Sase with the force fields, 126 supply against 140. And there come a ton of Infestor Terrans. But so far he lost mostly all of his links, and those Infestor Terrans won't be able to do too much as the Colossus is now out as well.
Outstanding building placement here by Sase. A perfect hold. And Stephano is going to have to run away with his tail tucked between his legs. This is going to be beautiful. We're probably going to see Sase attack as soon as these next 2 Colossi pop out. He has plenty of gates to start powering out a lot of units. And with 3 Colossus and 4 Immortals in your army, it's so difficult for Zerg to actually engage that at this point before Broodlords. Roaches are going to die very quickly. Lings are going to die very quickly. It's a great unit composition by Sase.
Exactly. This is so scary. He's getting more Immortals. Actually, he cancelled Immortal and starts with another Colossi. He already has 3. He will have 5, plus 3 attack is on its way. Extended Thermal Lance is already done, and he will hit before Stephano has the Broodlords, as you just pointed out. And this is going to be so scary for Stephano, who only has a few Zerglings and Roaches. He will start to delay the push of his opponent with the Infestors, but this is really scary. Sase could do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, this is the 3 base attack timing against what he is seeing here. If your opponent is going for this style, absolutely, but he's taking a 4th, and that's making me just a little bit more nervous. I feel like he needs to at least be poking and prodding, forcing out units, and picking off whatever he can. But right now, that is what Stephano's going to be doing, running these Lings in.
Oh, that Colossus has to be careful! Wow, taking some hits here on the hit points. And they're obviously not dying to them, but still pretty severely damaged. And this is a bit of a problem for Sase. All those run-bys could later on damage him quite a bit. Stephano played really well here, and he's a huge bank too.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, though. He's making 2 more Immortals, and those are completely not needed. But here he goes, moving forward. The Corruptors coming in, trying to target down these Colossi. Some of them have been fungled. In fact, all have been fungled. Beautiful moves here. But with all these Immortals mixed in, those Roaches are going to have to turn around.
And all those Colossi under pressure. The Corruptors are backing off right now, and Sase lost a lot of supply here. He's on 140 still, and this army composition is just so scary. Another Colossi dies. The last one will bite the dust as well, but still the Immortals in the game, 2 of them, and Stephano is reinforcing with tons of Zerglings.
You know, the one thing we do have to say is that those Corruptors are turning into Broodlords right now, so this is even worse than it looks for Sase. Some force fields going on, but he has been completely surrounded by the forces of Stephano. Stephano just looking immaculate.
Very nice study by Stephano. He's not overcommitting 2 Roaches. One of the things that he did maybe a little bit too much in the past, but with this switch, it's something that Sase certainly did not expect. We didn't see any Zealots here.
No. Likes his pans. Is that European for pants, or?
Yeah, I think he missed the T there.
All right, so we do have him pushing forward. There are, in fact, 6 Broodlords out, 4 Infestors, and there are some more Infestors and Corruptors on the way. This is, I mean, Sase has very little chance of holding this.
The big problem for Sase is that the only thing that he really had against the Zerglings were those Colossi. And with the Corrupt account that Stephano had, he could take them down so easy. If with a few Zealots and the +3 attack upgrades that he had, they would have teared through those Zerglings, but it just didn't happen. Stephano had not enough roaches. That was what Sase was basing his strategy on. The Immortals were not able to do anything here.
No, they really weren't. He overproduced a little bit at the end there. This attack, man, Sase is in a rough spot. He's getting that Stargate. He realizes if this game goes longer, oh my god, dancing Zerglings. Stephano completely sure of his victory at this point.
He's
and
just moving
GG.
GG by Sase. Stephano takes game number 1.
You know, that particular strategy that he was going for there, checking some text messages, I guess. Someone's like, LOL, you own. But basically, Sase needed to, instead of make that Nexus, add some more gateways and start pushing at 3 Colossus. This is actually, this 3-base timing where you have 4 or 5 Immortals is something that MC uses a lot. And you have to move out at those 3 Colossus and start pushing, or Broodlords will eventually get you. Sase just kind of gave him too much time, I felt. DJ Wee, Apollo, what's your take?
Well, I mean, I completely agree. I think Sase played a perfect game until that move out, and the decisions alongside the movement as well, taking that 4th base. But Stephano, everything he tried was shut down. And that's why Sase played so well. The building placement, the force fields, the trapping of units consistently. But the engagement there, he was very clumped up as well, ate a lot of fungal. And the key thing is that as soon as the Colossus went down, he actually had no answer to Lings, which is the very simple, basic follow-up from the Swarm.
And got caught, you know, right outside that 3rd by the 4th. And I even saw you wince a little bit when that happened, because the last Colossus went down and then that swell of Zerglings just went in there. I think at that point, you know, Stephano pretty confident he was going to be able to take it.
And yeah, the 4th base, as you said, if there wasn't a 4th base, I mean, what really is the 4th base for? Why are you pushing there if you're going for a 4th base? Because if you push and lose that army, if you've invested in a 4th base, you don't, you know, it's going to die anyway, right?
Yeah, you really have to put a lot of money into Stalkers as you're moving out there. You know, that's going to be the basis of your army as some of your more high-tech units die off, killing off of Zerg units. So just some very small, difficult late-game mistakes from Sase here. But, you know, I think that he still has a chance to take this. What about you?
It was just very well played by Stephano. Usually you see a Zerg player just focusing on roaches quite a lot. But with all those Zerglings, as we pointed out already, the Colossi were gone. There were no Zealots. He already had the +3 attack upgrades, so the armor upgrades wouldn't have mattered. Those Zealots would have 2-hit every single Zergling. And just the unit composition that Stephano played was awesome against Sase. But Apollo just mentioned it, up to this point, up to this push out, his play was just brilliant. So Sase can definitely take the game here, even though in the end it looked like an overwhelming win for Stephano.
That's actually really well said. Even though it looked overwhelming, it wasn't so much. So, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we will be back with Game 2 of Sase versus Stephano.